Hello everyone, I'm Edmond Awad. I'm a senior research fellow at the Oxford Uehiro Center. And with me here is Professor Walter Sinnott-Armstrong. He's professor at Duke University. And we're here to talk about the book that he co-authored. It's called Moral AI and How We Get There. This book is about AI. So we thought it would be really cool to film this at the XR labs at the Rhodes House with these amazing robots.
The first author of our book is Jana Schaich Borg, who was a neuroscientist and now is a data scientist and knows a lot about these issues from many different angles. Our third author is Vincent Conitzer, who used to be at Duke, and that's where Jana and I got to know him. Now he's at Carnegie Mellon, and he is an expert on all aspects of AI. If you ever want to know anything about AI, Vince is your man.
So Walter, would you please tell us who is this book for?
This book is for everybody in the general public that cares about artificial intelligence. And that should be everybody, because we're all affected by artificial intelligence in many different ways.
So how is this book different?
One big difference is that this book was written by philosophers, data scientists, and computer scientists working together. So you'll get all three perspectives rolled into one. Another reason that it's different is that a lot of books treat AI as a demon or as an angel, whereas we look at the pros and the cons and try to give you a balanced view of what AI really can accomplish and what it can't accomplish. And a third new element in our book is that we propose practical steps about how to avoid some of the problems, some of the moral difficulties that arise from AI that you can implement in your own life or in your own business.
So you mentioned these practical solutions, and one of these solutions that you mentioned in the book is using the public preferences in programming morality in machines. But as we know, the public don't always have the most or the best judgment, or they have the best view of AI, and sometimes they don't have full information about that. So how do we use their information effectively in programming morality in machines?
Well, we think that we have to use public opinion because it's scary to think that an AI would make up its own morality that doesn't fit with our own moral values. But you're absolutely right. If you use the public, you might not want to use precisely what they say. You need to correct because people make mistakes. I make mistakes, you make mistakes. I don't know everything that needs to be known, neither do you. We all have biases that we act on, even though we despise them and wish we didn't. And so our program is to take that information from the public, but in a sense correct it so that it's not confused, it's not misinformed, it's not biased, and it avoids some of the most common errors that humans like me and you make all the time.
Speaking about the bias, our bias as humans, and the bias of machines, some people are now talking about how machine bias could be very destructive. In your opinion, which one is harder to solve? Which problem is harder to solve, the human bias or the machine bias?
Oh, I think it's much harder to solve the human bias. These issues arise often when AI is used in a courtroom, for example, to predict who will show up for trial, and then you determine who gets released pre-trial to go home. Well, judges have to make these decisions very, very quickly, and their own biases are going to come through. And it's extremely difficult to convince the judge that they're at all biased, and then you can't do anything about it. But if an AI program does that, you can run simulation after simulation, literally millions of simulations, to see exactly where the bias is, what forms it takes, which people it affects, and then you can change the program. It's much easier to reprogram a computer than to reprogram a judge.
And in chapter 6 of your book, you mention a term called artificial improved democracy. So would you please tell us what these terms mean?
Yeah, we like that term just because it's an acronym for aid, and we think AI can aid or help humans in making a wide range of moral decisions. It's democracy because we gather opinions from all segments of society. It's artificial because we build it into a machine or an artificial intelligence, and it's improved because we correct for ignorance and confusion and bias that the people themselves want to avoid. Once you have this general idea, this technique down, then you can apply it in a number of different areas. We talk about kidney allocation, we talk about dementia and treatment preferences of people in late stage dementia, but we're also discussing this as a possibility for hiring in businesses. We're talking to the military about maybe using it in the military. There are a number of potential applications. The goal would be to stop people from making so many mistakes in those areas, and mistakes that they themselves see as mistakes. Not mistakes by our standards, mistakes by their standards. That's why it's democratic. I think the main message of our book is that AI can do great things for us, but it also has serious dangers. And we all need to be vigilant and watch it very carefully and learn what kinds of steps we need to take in order to gain its benefits and avoid the dangers.